Hello, and welcome to another episode from the Department of Deportation. Today we have a very somber, yet special episode, and that's a tribute to Charlie Kirk. R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated a couple days ago in Utah. His message will continue to go on, and he was one of the people that inspired us to do this channel. What better way to do a tribute to Charlie Kirk than to do some highlights from what he considered to be his best immigration debate of Trump's second term. Let's take a look.
But I'm guessing you're talking about Mahmoud Khalil and the students, right?
Mahmoud Khalil is one case, but recently student visas have been revoked at this campus and at the University of Michigan.
I'm glad they're revoked here. So, yes, of course it's consistent with the Constitution because they're not U.S. citizens. They're visitors. So as a visitor, you have to be a visitor on our terms. And if you break that compact, you are returned back to your country of origin. A student visa is a conditional invitation. We're going to see who you are, how you act, and how you behave. And if you behave in a way that the government deems to be unsatisfactory, of course you're going to be returned back to your country of origin.
What I would say to that, one, the Supreme Court and our Constitution is very clear that constitutional rights apply to everyone within the United States' jurisdiction.
To a limited extent. For example, you're correct. If a student on Michigan State campus has a student visa and they get charged with a crime, they get due process. You are correct. They get Fifth Amendment rights. But can they own a gun?
I think restrictions on their ownership of firearms
Can they
is
vote?
Constitutional. They cannot vote.
So there are restrictions on rights for visitors. But second to that is also political advocacy. As a visitor, you do not have unlimited free speech rights. You don't. They are conditional to you being expelled. And the specific act that you're talking about says that if the government deems the speech of the individual to be contrary to U.S. foreign policy interests, which I think advocating for Hamas is against the U.S. foreign policy interest, then we can send you back to your country of origin. Now, you would have a case if we were all of a sudden deporting or imprisoning U.S. citizens. I would be right there with you saying that you can support Hamas all you want as a U.S. citizen. You have a right to do that. But if you're a visitor, you're here on a trial basis. Your tryout is going. We're looking at how you're behaving. And if we look as if that it's inconsistent with how we want people to assimilate to this country, then you go back to Libya or Syria or wherever you're from. So we just disagree, and that's fine. I believe that if you are on campus advocating for Hamas, that basically you as a visitor should not come to this country, period.
All right.
I think it's a pretty simple claim.
Last brief point, Mahmoud Khalil was a lawful permanent resident with a green card. Does that change your analysis at all? You're fine with... So he's not necessarily a guest in the same way as someone with the student visa.
A green card is a guest. It's not a U.S. citizen.
Okay, so if you're fine, would you be fine with Kamala Harris, if she was elected president, saying my foreign policy interest is we're against racism, so we will be deporting any conservative student on campus?
That's the best argument you can make. That's the best argument that you've made.
So what would your argument be to a hypothetical President Harris?
To a hypothetical, first of all, is racism a foreign policy objective of the U.S. government? I mean, under Kamala Harris, I could see her saying something as insane as that.
So, the Trump administration cited anti-Semitism, which is basically the same thing.
You're making a good point.
Okay. All right, thank you. So you would have no principled response to a hypothetical President Harris?
My principled response would be that's not a national security foe that you could target, like Hamas. However, to your point, could this provision be abused in the future? Yes. Why am I largely in support of it? Even more than the specifics, I think we need to push back on this idea that you can behave however you want while you're a visitor, and there's nothing we can do to expel you. That's my larger macro premise, that while you are a student here, or whatever, a visitor, we have a right to send you back to your country of origin if you don't fit into agreed upon American values.
Well, that does it for this episode. I tried to do the best tribute that I know to Charlie Kirk possible, which is highlighting some of his recent awesome immigration debates. Well, thanks for all the videos, Charlie, and thanks for all the inspiration. Rest in peace, and God bless your family.